Have you ever wondered why so many bad things happen to you? Or maybe why your life is so blessed when so many people suffer? The answer lies in you. Maybe you notice so far that everything we perceive here is mental. You can enjoy life only mentally. You can experience magical moments, happiness, and blessings only mentally. Almost all suffering we experience is mental. Without thinking about it, we can experience neither joy nor suffering. So why don't we use our mental power to create what we want? If you are ready to create and experience joy, happiness, and success on purpose, deliberately, then this video is for you. And before we start, feel invited to join our community by subscribing to our channel. It's pretty cool how our brains can work together smoothly, helping us picture what we want for our future without much effort. This mental picture is like a blank canvas where we can practice being the person we want to become, feeling all the emotions that come with it. What's really interesting is that when we feel thankful even before we start healing, or when we feel like we have plenty and deserve good things even before we're actually rich, it starts a big change inside us. It's like just feeling those emotions beforehand starts making good things happen. Loving yourself and being excited about life helps make good things come your way. It's like a magic rule of the universe. When you're open to life's surprises and wonders, you might even have some really amazing experiences. Feeling strong and capable pushes you toward success. Lots of people get stuck waiting for things outside them to change before they can feel happy inside. That's because we're taught to think that way, which makes us feel like we're missing out and alone all the time. But the trick is to feel those good feelings before anything even happens. That's what actually starts making things happen. When your heart and brain work together smoothly, they create this invisible energy field around you, kind of like your own personal Wi-Fi signal. When your brain is in sync with your heart, it sends out vibes based on how you're feeling. It's like your heart is sending out a message about what you want, whether it's about being rich or being healthy, and your brain helps broadcast it out to the world. Our feelings are like the outcome of everything we go through. Epigenetics tells us that our surroundings talk to our genes. So, when you purposely feel a certain way in your heart that matches what you want in the future, you're sending a message to your genes before anything actually happens. This idea then affects how you act, helping you become the person you dream of being. Keeping this feeling in your heart going strong is super important. Our studies, which include working with the HeartMath Institute, show that even people new to meditation can change a lot at the smallest level of their bodies after just a week of practice. It seems like their bodies are turning into something new, all because of their strong and steady hearts. But what's this heart coherence all about? Basically, it's when your heart rate and your breath fall into a nice, steady rhythm together. When you're scared or stressed, your heart races, you breathe faster, and your brain gets all worked up. Many of us spend a lot of time worrying about the worst stuff that could happen, which keeps us stressed out and holding our breath. Our research shows that slowing down your breathing can also slow down your brain waves, switching your body from stress mode to chill mode, ready to make things happen. Picture a big drum, but when you're all tense, you can't hit it properly. Learning to relax changes that. Your heart gets happy, and focusing on it sends a clear message to your brain that it's okay to think about new stuff. Each time your heart beats in a steady rhythm, it sends out a message, kind of like when you drop a pebble in water and it makes ripples. The smoother the rhythm, the better it sends out info. Now, let's talk about the second part, being aware of the stuff you don't even realize you're thinking or feeling. In my own spiritual routine, I start each day by asking myself, how can I be the best version of myself today? This lines up with what science says about paying attention to our thoughts, habits, and feelings that we don't notice at first. It's a journey to get to know ourselves better and make choices that can change everything for the better. When we start noticing things about our old selves, it means we're not totally stuck in that old self anymore. We're stepping into this space of pure awareness, watching bits of our past selves fade away. So, what's my trick? It's simple, but it can change everything. I make a point to figure out who I don't want to be anymore. Studies say that by the time we hit 35, almost all of who we are is just habits, attitudes, beliefs, and feelings that we don't even realize we're doing. These habits keep us sort of asleep for most of the day. The real challenge is breaking out of doing the same stuff over and over. Changing for real means letting go of the old stuff and making something new. When I sit down to meditate in the morning, I start by really noticing the parts of me that I don't usually pay attention to. Maybe I'm judging people without even realizing it, or feeling guilty about stuff without a good reason. By shining a light on these hidden thoughts, I can start to understand why I act the way I do. The more I notice these hidden thoughts, the more I can control them during the day. Lots of people wake up wanting to think positive, but they've been stuck in negative thoughts for years. So I take a minute to think about who I don't want to be anymore, and then focus on who I want to be instead. By imagining and practicing being this new person in my head, I'm making new pathways in my brain. It's like training my brain to act how I want it to. And if I can feel the emotions that come with being this new me, I'm giving my body a sneak peek of what's to come. Research shows that imagining something in your mind not only changes your brain, but also affects your body. It's when your thoughts and feelings come together that define how you feel, and the universe reacts to this vibe. So, my goal is to finish my meditation feeling different in both mind and body. But it doesn't stop there. I have to keep this new feeling going all day, no matter what's happening around me or how I usually feel. When I can keep this up for a while, amazing things start happening in my life, usually when I least expect it. It's like a rule of how things work in the world, and it's what keeps me sticking to my daily routine. For me, I start my day by asking myself, what's the best version of me? I don't stop meditating until I really feel like that person. Sometimes it happens fast, and other times it takes longer. It's not about how long it takes, it's about being really there and feeling different. Some days, my mind is all over the place, thinking about what I need to do later or what's happened before. It can take me a while to bring my thoughts back to right now, but that's the real work, my friends. I've learned that if I keep at it and bring my mind back to the present, no matter where it's wandered off to, it's always worth it. Those moments when I really focus and bring myself back from being distracted are the best. So, I set aside a couple of hours in the morning, not because it always takes that long, but because it gives me time to relax and not worry about the time ticking by. It's my way of making sure I have enough time to connect with myself. Now, let's talk about the third part, being intentional. People sometimes struggle with what it means to be intentional. Let me make it simple. Being intentional means being super clear about what you want. Sounds easy, right? But here's the thing. When we're stressed, we start thinking about all the conditions and rules for what we want. We think, I want this, but only if that happens, and I can't risk this other thing. That's not being intentional. It's trying to control everything. Being intentional is pretty simple, really. It's just about saying, I want this thing, without worrying about keeping everything else the same. When you ask yourself questions like, what would it be like if I had this? Or, what if I were in this situation? It gets your brain's thinking part going. This part of your brain takes a look at everything you know and have experienced and puts it together to make a new idea. Intention might show up as a picture in your head, a symbol, or just a really clear idea. Like, you might imagine a peaceful place to go and relax. This picture has all the details of what you want. As you imagine it, it's like you're living your dream right there in your mind. Surprisingly, your brain can't tell the difference between this pretend experience and real life. It's like you're getting ready for the future without even knowing it. But we're not done yet. Once you've decided what you want, the real magic happens when you add some emotion to it. Why? Because your body listens to how you feel about your thoughts. So, when you feel strong emotions about your intention, your body thinks you're already living that future right now. Your cells, in a way, get ready for what you're imagining. It's like you're changing the story your body's been telling itself, moving from what's happened before to what's going to happen next. This mix of intention and emotion sets the stage for big changes, both inside you and in the world around you. As we go through this journey of discovering ourselves and getting better on purpose, let's remember that we have the power to make our lives what we want them to be. We can change our stories, reprogram our minds, and live the way we really want to. So, let's enjoy this process of change, seeing how we transform when we take charge of our own future. The power to change is in each of us, just waiting to be used. And as we start changing, we can inspire others to do the same, making the world a better place for everyone.